Hello, hello, hello. There we go.
There we go.
Let's start it all over again, everybody. Let's do it from the top.
Yeah, welcome in, everybody, to the Blue Jays Today Show. Apologies for the no sound there. That was
It just switched off.
It just switched off.
You check it right before, you go live, and then it just turns right off. How does that happen?
It is the way of it, right? We expected this season to be good. It wasn't good. Same thing happened here. Let me do the intro one more time. We got some stuff that we got to talk about. Kevin Gausman hates Penguins. That's a thing.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do you hate Penguins, Kevin
I genuinely
Gausman?
don't know. There was a whole social media post that was posted by the Toronto Blue Jays social media team. Apparently he came out, hates the Penguin. It's a beautiful, beloved Arctic bird, but not to Kevin Gausman. I want to know what the story is there.
Why?
In other news, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., some potential changes going on with him and the Toronto Blue Jays. What is he going to look like, especially defensively speaking, moving forward with this team? And then it's Tankathon, baby. We got 6 more games left to go to secure that first overall selection for these Toronto Blue Jays. Tanking for Ethan Holiday is a real thing at this point, folks. And with just a little bit left, might as well up your chances if you can. So we're going to talk about all that and more. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog.
I'm your host, Adam Peddle. Yeah, we're going to talk about all the Blue Jay stuff. I mean, Sophie already coming in trying to predict the Jay of the Week being Kevin Gausman. Spoiler, it's not Kevin Gausman this week. And simply because he hates Penguins. No, I'm just kidding. Gausman did have a good outing, by the way. He went 5 innings, no hits.
0 in the H
Very
column.
good. Very good. But I'm going to be honest, my bias is coming in and is talking about another Jay of the Week. Let's kick it off right off the top because we're going to talk about this man in just a moment. So without further ado, it's time for the Jay of the Week, everybody. If it wants to play the Jay of the Week too, there we go. Jay of the Week.
It is none other than the titular character of this live stream, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Let's go.
The guy was phenomenal once again, smacking bombs, hitting for an extremely high average. I think for the wheel, you know, I had Vladdy for average, you had Spencer Horwitz. Yeah. Both of them were incredible,
They
actually.
were good. They were both good.
But, you know, Guerrero was the pick. There's just actually nobody in the Toronto Blue Jays that could have done better than him this past week, batting .481, the OPS of 1.241. Obviously, in a league where Ohtani is Ohtaniing, I mean, these numbers almost seem pedestrian, but I can promise you they are not. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s season continues to be incredible. He has now reached over 30 home runs and over 100 RBIs.
That's right.
So
That's
it's a beautiful production season for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The guy deserves all the props.
And you know what? I know you're upset about this, Sophie, so we'll also shine some love on Kevin Gausman right here. I mean, let's look at the last little bit. I mean, look, he did have a very good 5 innings. He hurt his back. That outing could have been a lot better. You never know if he didn't hurt his back, but I mean, for me, it just felt like we kind of got blue balled a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
We did. You know, it's one of those situations where you never know what could have been. Yeah. Maybe he does it. Maybe he finishes it. Sadly, it isn't the case. Do we know, like, is he going to be coming in and he's going to be, you know, pitching for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think actually he is predicted to pitch, the game 3. So, you know, that's a thing. So, I mean, good weeks all around for the boys. Honestly, even Ryan Yarbrough, who we're going to talk about a little bit in this podcast, is having a phenomenal week. He did really good stuff in 6 innings of ball. But Vladdy is your Jay of the Week, guys. And speaking of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he actually came out a little bit earlier. Yesterday, I think it was. He came out and he was talking about, hey, you know, third base. You know, that's my position. That is my position. And the Blue Jays might actually explore an option where maybe they make Vladdy a full-time third baseman. I'm going to shout out this article right here real quick from Shai Davidi. Give it a good read, everybody. Giving the Blue Jays a little bit of options if he does decide to become a third baseman. And when asked about going back to third base in 2025 full-time, he said, I would love to.
Right.
Would you love Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to go back to third base full-time, Nick?
No, I wouldn't unless, right? This is going to be a no, I wouldn't unless, because I can see the benefit on one side of things. If Vladimir Guerrero Jr. goes over to third base and that opens up a spot for you to go in and to attract a big-time bat, because there's a lot of big-time first baseman bats on the free agent market. Pete Alonso is a name that sticks out to me. We've been talking about how we need more power on this team. I know that some people think that power is a dangerous word, but for me personally, I think it's pretty fucking important. Pete Alonso would 100% provide that. He's not the only option, though, because you got Christian Walker, you got Josh Bell. You got some veterans in there, too, and Paul Goldschmidt, if you really wanted to go in that direction. Who knows? He could always have a resurgent season, right? That's a potential Hall of Famer right there. But having the ability to go out and to sign a first baseman is a good thing, because there's a lot more first baseman out there than third baseman. Really, the only third baseman worth noting is Alex Bregman, unless I'm doing some other guys some disservice here, but I do think that Alex Bregman is effectively the lone guy here who could be very, very good. So if Guerrero was to move over to third base, and that opened the management up to go out and to sign a Pete Alonso, then I can see the appeal. But if not, if that's not what happens, I don't like it at all, because there is a liability over there when it comes to his defense.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. Is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. a stud third baseman defensively? Absolutely not. I mean, we saw it in 2019, but you could also argue, it was 2019.
Long time ago.
So long ago. Like, we didn't give him time to develop really over there defensively at third base. Well, at third base this year, again, small sample size, 12 games he's played third base. He has a fielding percentage of .941. The average in the MLB is around that .960 mark for a third baseman. So obviously he's below average. But the fact is, Nick, it's not about the defense anymore, right? I thought we were getting away from that, because it's all about the offense that the Blue Jays need to add in to help this team get back to the winning ways. Now, some people might argue, well, let's not touch third base for Vladdy. Let's not put him back over there, because he's been doing so good at first base. I mean, he's had so many great seasons in the past 4 years over at first base. Why mess with that? Why mess with that bat and disrupt it? Well, actually, it doesn't really matter, guys. At third base this year, again, small sample size. He has 47 at-bats over there. He's got a .404 batting average. Doesn't really affect him, in my opinion. I think he plays whatever position he wants to. He's going to be a great hitter, so it won't affect the bat.
You look at the numbers there, too, right? I mean, very good as a first baseman, very good as a third baseman, very good as a DH. So I just think that, when he is as locked in as he is today, he's going to hit regardless of what happens, right? So I wouldn't be too worried about that. I think, though, that, again, to your point, well, we're worrying about offense now. It needs to be... Or the only reason that this makes sense is if by doing so you do increase the offense, and that's why I would need to see you go out and I would need to see you get somebody like a Christian Walker or Pete Alonso, because if you're just moving Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over to third base to move into third base, and then maybe Horwitz is the first base, I don't see the reasoning behind that. I think that if you're going to take the hit defensively speaking over there, then you have to make up for that in some other way. And that would be by bringing in a bat.
Yeah, and also, talking about defense, moving over to third base and signing a Pete Alonso or whoever it might be coming over and to play first base for us doesn't mean that Vladdy's a permanent third baseman now. There's a DH spot for a reason, right? Like, you could go slide in one of those guys as a DH. I mean, hell, Pete Alonso feels like a DH type of player. And if you go out and get an actual DH, that's a guy that's going to fill out there. So, that's not a permanent destination for Vladdy. It would just be a way to open up things in the lineup. But yeah, the defense would obviously, if they go sign somebody like that over to play first base, I would probably hope that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to be working on that a lot this offseason.
Yeah, it needs to be something, right? Because again, throw back to those days, and I know it was a long period of time ago, but back in 2019, the defense over there at third base was a serious liability, right? We didn't just, up and decide to move him to first base for fun. There was a reason.
He gained 50 pounds.
Yeah, there was a reason why he went there in the first place, right? And part of that was because, third base just wasn't looking so good on him.
The range wasn't looking good.
I mean, I'm still of the opinion that the best possible thing that this team can do, you extend Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and then, of course, you bring in another bat.
Right.
But, for me, there's kind of a tier list here of, Santander being, one of those top guys. It is in a position of need. An outfielder is somebody that we absolutely need, and he does provide that power.
Yeah.
If you can't get him, and, you start kind of going through your list of other players, and Pete Alonso is the next one, on your rankings list, okay, well, then maybe we make something happen. But even somebody like a Pete Alonso, like he could come in and he could kind of act as that primary DH role. You know, like, I feel like that would be perfect for him, right?
Absolutely. Like the beautiful thing about being as bad as we are and depleted roster as we are is like we have a very flexible roster, and this is just another one of those options that provides flexibility. The free agent market is open to the Blue Jays. Anybody who has a good bat, come over. Doesn't matter what position you play, you will find a home on the Toronto Blue Jays, it feels like at this point.
Yeah, no one's good enough on this team to just own their position forever.
Nope.
You know, that's the thing. You're not good enough, and that even Guerrero, the best player on this team, is willing to switch positions. So really, the Toronto Blue Jays, like, we are an open book. We are going to be going after anyone and everybody who would be willing to come here. Speaking of somebody who might be willing to come back here, let's talk a little bit about Ryan Yarbrough. This bullpen has been, I keep using the word decimated because that feels like the best way to describe what has transpired here to this bullpen.
Ass, also ass.
Sure, yeah. I mean, just like any bad adjective, right? Like, it's not good, and it needs to be something that is fully addressed this offseason. One way to help that would be to retain Ryan Yarbrough. It felt like a nothing burger of an acquisition.
Actually ended up being a very good acquisition.
Exactly. It actually ended up being really well, you know, for the Toronto Blue Jays. We needed somebody to pitch innings. We didn't even need them to be quality innings, but he has done both. Yarbrough has played that long bullpen role beautifully so far for the Toronto Blue Jays. And considering who we currently have for next year, I'm thinking we need 1, 2, or 8 more of those guys.
Yeah, I've said this time and time again. I mean, you look at the bullpen, it needs a complete makeover, right? Going out and signing 4 back-end quality guys, that's going to cost you a lot of money. And those guys are typically only give you 1 inning of work in a game, right? Whereas Ryan Yarbrough, he's come over, and in 11 games, 11 outings he's had for the Toronto Blue Jays, he's given you 27 innings in that bullpen. That makes up for 2.5 potentially bad players that you could have in that. So you're taking those innings and you're making them quality with a 2.28 ERA. This is my logic here. And guess what, guys? It's only going to cost you, according to Spot Rack, $4.5 million. I'd pay this guy $5 million next year because of that amount of value that you're saving on the free agent market. Again, going back to it, you're going to spend a high-end bullpen piece, a $10 million bullpen piece that could probably give you what Ryan Yarbrough gives you in an inning, assuming he's good again next year. That's another question. I can get more innings out of this for less price. So for me, it just makes sense.
Yeah,
Go spend the money where it needs to be spent.
Now, it does need to be addressed the fact that this is by far the best that Ryan Yarbrough has done in his long and tenured career, right? Like, this is a small sample size in what is a big sample size of work from Ryan Yarbrough, and there is quite the difference in his performance. So that could be chalked up to just, you know, fluke coincidence, or alternatively, maybe there's something that's working here in this Blue Jays uniform for Yarbrough. Maybe him and Pete Walker are really cooking with something. I don't know, but either way, I like what I've seen so far, and considering, again, the rest of the competition that he is going to be up against in that bullpen, like, it's going to take guys like this who aren't going to break the bank, but have the upside to be very solid for the Toronto Blue Jays to get back into contention next year. We are going to need some luck, and we are going to need some breakouts like this in that bullpen next year.
Let's play some money ball. And when I mean money ball, it's not go sign the nobody that no one's heard of that has a decent on base. I'm talking about investing good money into quality players. And Ryan Yarbrough's that guy. We actually had a Ray fan in here. What's up, Mike H, saying, I'm a Rays fan, and Yarbrough's always been money. And I mean, like overall, you can look at his career, and it's not like, hey, wow, this guy's amazing, but Ryan Yarbrough, we've known him from the Tampa Bay Rays system, has always been a guy that gives you a chance. And that's all we're asking for in the bullpen.
Yeah, if your offense completely falls asleep, then, well, you're not going to win regardless. But, he will offer you that opportunity to win a game, right? If you can put up 4, 5, or 6 runs, like, you're going to be looking pretty decent with Ryan Yarbrough on the bump. So, no, I do think that is a very solid person to target, and like the closer that we get to the offseason and like the clearer the I guess the direction of this team starts to look. Bullpen is going to be key. Everyone and anyone who wants to come here, we will take you. Yarbrough feels like a good start.
Yeah, I'm with it, guys. Make that one of the earlier moves that you could do this offseason. It's one of those ones that isn't gonna, cause a big whole live stream from Blue Jays Today, boys. But it's one of those moves that it's like, hell yeah, this is a smart quality move. Maybe they might need to go think about getting some more help in that outfield as well, because we talked about last Blue Jays Today show on Friday, but the whole injury to Dalton Varsho is starting to look a lot more scarier than we thought. You know, there's word that he might not even be ready for spring training, or might not even be ready to start the season. And if you look at the Blue Jays bullpen without Dalton Varsho, as much as we get on him for his bat, he's a really great glove. And if you look at that outfield, then you've got George Springer in right. Who's in center? Who's in left? We haven't really locked that in. What are you thinking about this whole impact that Varsho has? Could be missing some games next year.
In his words, he is hopeful that he's not going to miss too many games, right? Like, that's where he's at. Like, he's hoping that this isn't going to linger deeply into the season, and I do think that he has a good chance, because obviously he's getting the surgery today.
Literally
I think.
today. Yeah.
So he's going to have the entirety of the offseason to recover from this, to rehab from this, and to condition his body properly so that he will be ready for, however many games he's capable of coming out for in 2025. So I'm not concerned that, he's going to be out all next year or anything like that, but there could be a sizable stretch, maybe the month of April, or, maybe a couple weeks where it will be without Dalton Varsho. And I personally don't want to be in a situation where we're walking into the season with, an aging George Springer and a Nathan Lucas and a Joey Loperfido out there in the outfield.
That's exactly what it looks like at this point right now. And look, like, the outfield doesn't have to be our strength like it has been in the past, but like, this is starting to get a little bit concerning, because to your point, right now it's Joey Loperfido taking over there in left field, which in my opinion, I mean, Joey Loperfido has been struggling. Like Dalton Varsho, Joey Loperfido has a giant hole in his swing with that left-handed bat. He has a more violent swing, and I feel like it creates a lot of swing. I've noticed him trying to calm it down, but Joey, I mean, it's early. We don't really know what kind of player you are yet, but right now that would be your starting left fielder every single day. I mean, obviously, I think you could probably say it'd be more of a platoon role between him. Maybe Addison Barcia plays a little bit of left field too. David Schneider, we're not really too sure about. But the big one is, again, as much as we get on the bat of Dalton Varsho, having that lockdown center fielder is very good. And we're going to need it with a pitching staff like ours that relies on our defense to make plays out there, because we're not a big strikeout team. We need to have that up-the-middle center field defense. So Dalton Varsho, again, hopeful that he's going to be back, and I hope that it doesn't affect his bat in his play too much.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that's obviously...
That's another question.
That is another question as well, right? How are you going to start? And, this year was slightly better than last year, offensively speaking, from Dalton Varsho, but that still isn't saying a whole lot. Obviously, the answer to this question is bullpen, but if I say, that you can't say that, what, in your opinion, is like the biggest area of need right now?
Other than bullpen.
Other than, because clearly it's
bullpen,
you're going to say bullpen, but if you had to bring in one specific player right now, whether it be a flamethrowing starter, or a super power hitting lefty, or like a contact bat to lead, like where in what position, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely a threat power bat. Like, it doesn't have to be a power like this guy bats like 220 and just smacks homers and that's all it is. But like somebody who can provide a decent threat behind Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You wouldn't. If you do pitch around Vladdy, well, great. We have another base runner on, and you still feel kind of crappy about facing this guy behind you, right? Right now we have Alejandro Kirk. I think people are going to be pitching around Vladdy after this season and facing Alejandro Kirk.
Keep in mind, though, Kirky had quite the hitting.
13-game hitting streak or something? Respect to Kirk, but you see my point. The mid-600 OPS, I'm rather facing the almost 1,000 of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Yes. So for me, that's where I'd go. Pitching right now is... Starting pitching, we got a lot of options internally right now, so I'm not pressing for that, but we don't have an established threat in the lineup other than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And I guess you could argue Bo Bichette, but we got to see that next year.
We need to see that first before you can lock that in. Because again, you're talking about protection. Yeah. If there's, to start the season out, until Bo Bichette proves it again, if I'm a pitcher, I'll attack Bo Bichette.
I'm attacking.
You know what I mean?
Actually, I'm not attacking Bo Bichette. I'm throwing sliders in the dirt.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Either way, I'm gonna just walk Guerrero, and we can get this guy out. It's gonna be no problem type thing. At least to begin this season. I would also argue that yes, clearly a power bat is extremely important, and some type of protection for Guerrero is needed.
Yeah.
But I still look at that leadoff spot, and I'm kind of wondering who's going to man it for the Toronto Blue Jays, right? Like I obviously I want Santander, but if you miss out on a Santander, picking up an outfielder that can actually get on base and can run consistently,
right?
Like that's something that we could really use. I'm not personally comfortable having George Springer with his .219 batting average being the leadoff guy next year. And we know that, like, even though Spencer Horwitz you could argue that, well, he's the next best bat and he does get on base, the guy can't run to save his fucking life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want that guy clogging up the base paths to lead things off. So then you're like, well, do we put Bo Bichette out there? I don't know, like
that's it. That's it. I think
and like that just doesn't feel like a comfortable position for me to be in.
What about Ernie Clement? Honestly, Ernie Clement's a better option.
That's legitimately probably the other option, right? And again, I think that you're proving my point right now by saying it's like we do need somebody else because Ernie Clement, as good as he's been, the guy never takes walks. He's got an on-base percentage of .286. That's just 20 points higher than his batting average, right? It's like he's getting on base less than 30% of the time. That's not somebody that I want leading off either. So for me, yes, I want the power bat a lot, but I think like just as equally important is somebody who can set the table properly right now, because I think we were hoping that's what George Springer was going to be for a couple more years. Doesn't look like we're going to get that.
I'm kind of scrolling right now because, like, obviously the traditional leadoff hitter is kind of fading away in today's game, and you look for just a guy who's good, a guy who can provide a little bit of presence, at the top of the order, and not going into like the huge, superstars here. Like it's tough to find somebody that's like a leadoff hitter. You know what I'm saying? Like in this in today's game, like I don't
give
really
me
see
Willie
anybody.
Adames. I'll take Willie Adames.
Sure,
Willie
Adames.
Yeah, look, we just need a competent baseball player who can bat in front of the guy that's supposed to be getting RBIs.
I mean, on base of 330, 250 batting average with some pop. There you go. Willie Adames, your Toronto Blue Jay.
Give me Willie Adames, baby.
You think we have a chance at Willie Adames, considering he is a shortstop and middle infield, and we've got to talk about? You think we have an opportunity?
I think that they'll take a look, man. I think that we've been, we've been rumored about Willie Adames in the past, like, like trade candidates and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, like, yes, it does create a couple more questions than, maybe bringing in some other guys. Like, you'll have to move around some pieces, but I do think that with the way that things have gone with Bo Bichette, like, it's not like it's your full position anymore. Like, if we wanted to bring in somebody who really played a great season of baseball this year, like, I think that you could do that.
Right.
There's also the conversation of, well, maybe Bo Bichette can play second base or something like that. Or alternatively, if you did sign a Willie Adames, it fully opens you up to then trade Bo Bichette as well. So
actually, I think management should move Bo Bichette over to second. Now's the time, because if you're not thinking about signing him back, and the whole argument was, well, Bo Bichette's our guy.
Yeah.
He's our shortstop. He won't be after 2025. So move him over. You might as well just play him however you want to play him next year.
If you genuinely know that he isn't going to, and again, like, this is the internal conversations. I know that Bo Bichette came out and said otherwise recently, but there's been some other things that have been said too. So I'm one of those guys where, when there's smoke, there's fire, and it feels like there's a bit more to this story than is, maybe being said by both parties. So if the management's getting the strong suspicion that they're not going to be able to lock him down, or they're just choosing that we don't want to lock him down, then yeah, you're right. Planning for the future of that shortstop position is going to be incredibly important, right? Because you don't want to just, okay, Bo Bichette's gone next year.
Right.
Well, who the fuck's our guy?
Ernie Clement.
Yeah.
Like, guys, it can't just be Ernie Clement. It's the solution for everything.
I want somebody a bit more established. Honestly, the more that I do think about it, I just threw out Willie Adames now, but the guy's 29 years old. Right? Yeah. You could have him for a long time. Yeah, he's very good at baseball. So, yes, I do think we will be in on Willie Adames.
Oh, and I'll throw in another little fun fact. This is actually a personal thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but his girlfriend is living in Toronto. She's Canadian, or at least from Toronto.
There you go.
There you go. Because I think one of our Pat, who's on the show, worked with her in some capacity. and she's from here. So there you go.
Okay,
Settle down in Toronto, Willie Adames.
Willie Adames' girlfriend. I doubt that you're listening to this, but
No.
on the off chance that you are, start the sales pitch now. Start the sales pitch early. We're down for it.
There you go, Bluebird. Adames says he loves playing in Toronto and loves the unis. So there you go.
I like it.
Willie Adames to the Toronto Blue Jays. That would be great. Willie Adames, Santander. Oh, we're back, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
We're back.
We get a solid contact guy who's threatening, and then also a solid power hitter who can provide protection.
Yo, we go Willie leadoff, Bo 2, Vlad 3, Santander 4, Horwitz 5, George somewhere down there 6, Kirk. Oh, we're so back.
I'm automatically.
We're so back.
I'm literally automatically already bought in.
We're bought in. We're winning the World Series.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 100% bought in again if that is the lineup in 2025. But again, lots of work needs to be done here, folks. One way to speed this whole process up and to legitimately change the outlook of this entire franchise would be to fall into just a little bit of luck here, guys. We got the Tankathon up, the draft lottery simulator. I do hate that it has come to this place, but this is where we're at, folks.
Yep.
Toronto Blue Jays right now have the 6th best odds to get that first overall selection, and they got their work to do because they're currently tied with the Pittsburgh Pirates at 73 and 83, which is their record.
Yeah.
If they can just lose a little bit more than the Pittsburgh Pirates, we're going to jump up 2.5%. And at this point, that 2.5% is kind of appealing to me.
It is, guys. And I love how, also, side note, the Tankathon highlights it in green.
Yeah.
When you lose.
It's the Tankathon.
It's the Tankathon.
We're on a hot streak right now, man. Yeah, we've lost 3 in a row. We're putting in work right now.
Yeah. So, guys, we got a little bit more work to do. We got to lose a little bit more. And we got to lose more than the Pittsburgh Pirates. Obviously, we know here we've got the Boston Red Sox series come up. We're about to break that down in just a moment. And then we got the Marlins on the weekend. That is not good for us. But the Pittsburgh Pirates, what do they got? It's actually scary, guys.
It's a lot harder than us, and typically, you got to change the way that you think about this, right? We want the Pirates to win, and they're up against the Brewers and the Yankees. Now, the one thing that's maybe positive is that the Brewers and the Yankees have totally clinched.
And they're going to sit their guys.
And maybe they're going to be not thinking about this.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
it's
true.
The mindset's on postseason, and we're not even fuck this, we don't care type thing.
Right.
So that's the one positive thing.
Okay.
However, just from a talent standpoint, Milwaukee and New York are tiers ahead of Pittsburgh.
They got Willie Adames. You know what I mean?
They do have Willie Adames.
So that's going to be some tough sledding here for the Jays. So we definitely want to make sure we lose a little bit more than the Pirates, because who cares at this point? We're not breaking 500.
No,
we're
not breaking 500. Let's do a quick sim of the lottery just to see what would happen if we send it right now today.
Drum roll, please.
Toronto Blue Jays.
We can eat them all day. Let's go.
That is what would turn around the franchise, everybody. That is what would turn them around.
All right, beautiful. We're gonna love it, man. We're gonna be live, by the way, everybody, for that stream. Whenever they're doing the draft lottery, I think it's during the winter meetings. We will be live, so be here, and we're gonna celebrate.
That would again, we're gonna celebrate if we
get it.
Yes.
Dude, my heart's gonna be pumping. We're top 3,
if it's
and we haven't been announced.
oh my gosh, we have a serious chance. No, I mean, again, that would change everything about this franchise and about this team. So. Let's look ahead at this week of games and see if we can't improve our odds just a little bit. We got Boston here coming into the Rogers Center. Final stretch of games at home. Tanner Houck up against Chris Bassett. Now, I'll tell you right now, Tanner Houck, pretty good at baseball. I know he's got an 8-10 record, but the ERA is very, very solid. I'm actually in my fantasy baseball playoffs in the finals. I picked him up against the Toronto Blue Jays because I thought I knew what's going to happen.
You know who dropped him was your opponent. He was with me when he dropped him.
That's a dumb thing, I think.
I don't know why he did that.
I think that's a dumb thing.
I don't know why he did that.
That's a really, really dumb thing right there because I'll be completely honest, guys. I think Tanner Houck might cook a little tonight.
And I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. You got Chris Bassett, who's been scuffling. This is probably Chris Bassett's last start. I can't imagine them pitching him on the final day on Sunday. I don't really think that's. Make it a Ryan Burr and Yarbrough day and have the boys send off into the sunset. This one I'm definitely going to go with the Boston Red Sox. I'm not going to lie. The Blue Jays, they had a quick travel back to Toronto. They might be a little bit jet lagged. Boston, Houck has been dominating, and Bassett, just so shaky. So I'm going with the Red Sox.
Yeah, me as well, man. Me as well. Let's give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, folks.
Time for a quick shout out to Betway. Betway is the best place to make all of your sports bets on all of your favorite teams. Betway is also in collaboration with iGaming Ontario. Must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Shout out to Betway, everybody, for being absolutely phenomenal. It is the place to go if you have any interest at all in betting on the Toronto Blue Jays, in betting on football, in betting on anything. What do you got?
Well, guys, if you think the Blue Jays are going to lose, just like Nick and I think, you'll have good odds. The odds continue to go up. The multiplier is at 2.15.
That's kind of wild.
So if you bet $100, you will get back $215. That is actually insane. Why are they favored? No idea.
It's just because we're at home.
We're at home.
Guess, but I think that's a little silly, to be honest.
A little bit silly. So if you really do think that the Blue Jays will lose, throw it on the money line. Actually, this one's the win-draw-win. So if they actually go to extras, you will lose. How often does that happen?
And you'd also, if you did just want to take the money line, you get 1-to-1 odds right there. So I think it's going to be an L tonight. What about game 2 in this one, everybody? We got Bowden Francis up against Bello of the Boston Red Sox. Now, for me, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
When Bowden Francis is on the bump, I don't bet against Bowden Francis. However, that being said, the guy gave up 2 earned runs in his last start, and that was not good enough. Because what did we lose? 2-0?
2-0. I think we were live for that, were we?
Yeah,
we were live for that.
It was terrible. Game. It was a terrible
Yeah, we watch a live stream, they lose 2-0. Then we watch another one, we lose 1-0.
It was disgusting.
Just terrible baseball.
Disgusting baseball by the offense in both of those affairs.
We literally didn't watch a single run, but point being, the offense got to show up for Francis. And last time that the Blue Jays faced Bayo, I actually remember this, he cooked the Blue Jays. So it's going to be a tough one. However, I can never bet against Bowden Francis, so I got to hope that we win that one, 1-0.
Yeah, Sophie's saying that Bayo does well against us. I think Bowden will struggle. I do hear what you're saying. However, again, Bowden Francis's historical stretch just continues to be immaculate.
He cooks the Red Sox, guys. Look at that.
Yeah, well, again, only one start, it looks like. But the only one who even got on base was Sogard.
Wow.
So, I like our chances in this one. I am going to give the edge to Bowden Francis, but it is all dependent, obviously, on whether or not the offense can actually do something for us. Final game, Kevin Gausman up against Fitz.
Who are you?
How did you get here? Why are you an MLB player?
What? He's 24.
He's got a 0 ERA. He's young. I assume that, maybe he's one of their prospects or something like that. So
no earned runs in 15 innings, 3 starts. Damn.
Okay,
this guy's
was
kind of
not
good.
familiar with your game.
I was not familiar with your
Richard
game.
Fitz.
Wow. I looked at 0. I'm like, this guy must have never, played a game.
Like 1 or 2 outings or something.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, 3 starts too. Like that's
really good.
That's pretty impressive, actually, right there. I'll give it to him. That is, 5.
Very good.
5 innings every single time, right
Never
there.
got a win though, but.
What are you thinking in this one, man?
This is tough. Obviously it's tough to predict with a guy we've never seen before.
Right.
Kevin Gausman we have seen before, and Gausman's been, he gets beat up by Duran a little bit. I have it in my gut that we're going to lose this series, and the last one was pretty tight. I think we're going to lose one. It's nothing against Gausman. I think he's going to put up a very good outing. He's been very solid lately, having a great finish to his season. Yeah, the ERA is below 4 again. It's starting to look a lot nicer, right? So I think he's going to have a good outing, but either this one or the one before, we're going to lose. So I'll say we lose this one. We lose the series 1-2.
I'm going to say that we win this one. I think that this is as close to a 50-50 as you can get. It feels like just looking at the 2 pitchers, Gausman as well. I mean, no hit ball last time out. He did only go 5. So I like that a lot. And I just feel like it's just like the Toronto Blue Jays to to win when we need them to lose.
You're right.
You know,
you're right.
that's the type of baseball that they play. And even though I want us to lose this series just to help us get better odds for, you know, potentially first overall pick, I don't think they got it in them. So
that's
where I'm going right there, everybody. We will be live for that Kevin Gausman game, everyone. So if you want to come in for one of the final live streams, we've got two more live play-by-plays this Wednesday, this Friday. I think that we're going to have some drinking rules, some drinking games for this Friday's live stream, just the final one of the season for Blue Jays today. We've been live for like 70 games or something.
Yeah, I think it might be 70 games when it's all said and done.
It's a lot of games, everybody. It is a lot of games.
A lot of losses.
Yeah,
I think our record's got to be horrible.
It's
not gonna
terrible,
lie.
dude. It's probably like
worse than our
20
record.
and 50 or something.
Yeah, I think it's actually worse than the Blue Jays record because I remember counting. We go live on Fridays all the time.
Yeah.
And I counted. We were like 1 for 13 in Friday's.
Well,
I'll
tell you, man, like I don't remember a lot of wins.
Nope, don't remember a lot of wins on my Friday nights. Always disappointed.
Yeah.
But let's finish this off, guys. We got one more segment. It's also the final week of this segment. It's coming down to the wire. It's time to spin that wheel.
The spinning fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin every single week, and we are down to the wire. I'm happy that I think this is the first season ever where it's come down to like this close in the final week. I think last year, honestly, like you were dead in the water.
I was so
effectively by the All-Star break, it was game over.
I think every single year we've done it, it's like one person gets hot, and then the other person gets like hot for the second half.
Right.
And like it kind of did that this year, but a lot closer. Like you were hot, and then I started getting hot. And now here we are. So it comes down to this, everybody. Effectively, I need to win this week 2-1 to tie. And then I'm not sure what we do. You
after
need a
that.
sweep or a null category, like 2-0, because sometimes that happens, or like a tie, to win it. So you need 2-0 or a 3-0.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just thinking about not losing right now. 2-1 would save me from losing. However, it is your week, Adam. So let's spin this thing and see what it's going to be. No bonus players. Keep it nice and standard. That'd be good.
Please.
We are going to spin past it, and it's going to be on
base on balls. What a thrilling category for the final ones. Let's take a look, everybody, at what we got here in the last little bit. My initial reaction feels like I want to punt it over to you. And there's clearly two dogs. Yeah, for me it's clear there's two dogs. It's Vladdy or Horwitz. You could have your pick. I feel like I want to save mine for the other categories.
Oh, that's understandable, man. I'll take Guerrero just because he's Vladdy.
He's Vladdy.
I'll take Vladdy, and I got to trust in it.
And I already have them already queued up here. I will take Horwitz for the other one.
Those are effectively like the two guys, man. For all the offensive categories, it feels like those are the guys at this point.
That's wild that Horwitz has like kind of made it.
I know. You never would have thought it, but like here it is, and it's going to be
base on balls again.
Base on balls again. I always do that, man.
You nail it.
I snipe it every single time.
You guys also let us know what you'd pick. Yeah, Vladdy, Horwitz. Yeah, those are the clear guys. You let us know for this one as well. We're gonna have. Is it coming back around? Get past it. No!
Oh my God!
Go again.
It's a light spin right here, everybody.
Light spin. And we're gonna get. It's going past. Batting average. Okay, I will take this one, and I'm going to take the man, the legend, the hopefully $350 million man, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. That's pretty clear.
That's the clear one.
I mean, it just like again, I gotta have a different. I gotta have a different week for him this week. I gotta get him to get on base rather than be taking a bunch of hits. And then this is the last 15 days, eh?
You want last 7?
No, last 15.
15's pretty good.
Show me the last 7 just in case if there's anything majorly different.
Vladdy, Ernie's been good.
That's something I don't know if I can buy into, you know?
Jonathan Clase. 3, 4, 6. I actually didn't even realize he went 3 for 6. I didn't even watch on the weekend.
Yeah, that is pretty
Shout
wild.
out Clase.
I mean, is it Is it Horwitz? Like, is that what we do here, guys?
What are we doing, guys?
Is it Horwitz after Guerrero? Like, I just don't know if there's anyone else that you can really rely on.
That's
you know,
the only guy.
Like, I genuinely don't know, man. Like, I get the alternative is Ernie Clement.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. What's Kirk's batting average? I know he's been good recently, but
290 last 15.
290. Okay. I mean, like,
last
that's
7 was
something, right?
Last 7 was 267.
Oh no!
Here we are.
Yeah.
Can you imagine we're groaning and moaning over averages on the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I guess I'll just have to lock in Horwitz here,
Yeah.
and this is gonna be the Horwitz versus Vladdy week. You know?
As it has come down to.
Literally, right? Like which one's gonna walk more, which one's gonna hit more? We'll see.
Let's find out.
Final category here, everybody. What is it gonna be?
And the final category and spin of the 2024 season, guys.
That is correct, guys.
Here we are. And it's
Spinning
coming
pass
down
bonus
to
breaker. It's fucking base on
Walks
balls
again.
We don't want to do walks.
No,
Wants us to double up on walks so bad.
Would it be so funny if it was worse, Jay, to finish it off?
I think it should be, honestly. But
average.
How do I do it, man? I generally don't know how I
Go
do
on,
it.
it's gotta be worse, Jay. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. And it's going to be...
Scroll past.
Oh my lord. Oh
Okay,
my
one more, and then...
If it's not, we're picking worse,
We're picking
Jay.
worse, Jay.
Just because it needs to be.
Yeah. So I just keep hitting it.
Come on, ball don't lie. It's going to be ERA.
All right.
For the starters.
Okay, you know what? This one's reasonable.
This one actually could be a decent one. Let's take a look.
Yeah. There's options for this. There's options here. This isn't a confirmed L for me.
Yeah, our starters are actually cooking lately, and that's you know what, just great. That's just great. So who do we got? I mean, Kevin Gausman had a great start. Feels like everyone's gonna get one more start. Bowden Francis could never go wrong with Bowden Francis. Wow, there's so many good options. Bowden, Jose, Gausman. Wow, also good. I feel like even Bassett's had a good last 15 days. There's literally no wrong option here, and I kind of hate that I'm going first. Who's got a better matchup? I'm not picking Bassett. Francis against the Red Sox. He's been very good. He was dominating last time. Gausman's also not bad. Is he healthy? Is he not? So I think Lamakina's so solid too, man. Lamakina is so solid too, but you can't go wrong with Bowden Francis. I just can't go. I can't bet against Bowden Francis.
I like it.
With the way he's been going. There's no wrong option here, Nick.
No, there isn't. There
option.
really isn't, man. Like, this feels like a nice, fair category to finish things off. I am actually happy, though, that you took Bowden Francis, because I'm confident in my guy Lamakina up against the fucking Miami Marlins.
That's actually so true.
I like the Miami Marlins for this, so I'm going to take Lamakina there. I'm comfortable with that. And that is going to be the final spins of the 2024 season. You guys let us know who you're riding with this one. I guess in the Blue Jays Today show following, I guess we'll obviously be doing a Blue Jays Today show on that Monday,
of course,
following the season finish and kind of, I guess, recapping everything. Yeah. And we will announce the winner in that one.
Yeah, and guys, we're going to be coming out soon with an updated schedule, because next week is going to look completely different than our usual, because the season is over. I know Sophie's saying it sucks that this is like this is it. We're not going anywhere, guys. There's going to be regular weekly shows all the time here on Blue Jays Today, and it's about to get, hopefully, a lot more exciting in Toronto Blue Jay land.
No, I think that they're going to be a lot more fun, honestly, because at least we get something to look forward to. There's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe people are getting fired. Maybe we're trading people. Maybe we're signing people. That's going to be the conversation that's coming very, very soon for this organization, for this franchise. For now, we're just moaning and groaning about who's going to fucking get the most walks here. So, you guys, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think about everything that we discussed in this one? Hit that like, smash that subscribe button. We'll have a video coming out tomorrow. And then, of course, Wednesday, we will be live, and Friday, get your beverages chilled if you're of drinking age. We're going to be drinking along with the Toronto Blue Jays game for the final live stream of the year.
Drink away the pain with Blue Jays Today. Everybody, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!